I have so many questions about charts and no one to help me. If only there was a place I could go to learn which doesn't cost a fortune.
There is such a place. It's my Patreon. It's £7.50 a month and you get 2 live streams a week. Ask me anything you like about any chart that you want.
What about trading platforms?
Well, in the video description I've got a link for all the best ones and you can get up to 20% off all your trading fees for life.
Thanks CryptoClick, you demand bro.
Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at crypto.com. If you want to join the Patreon, by the way, links in the description below. I'm doing 2 live streams a week as always. One of them is tonight, so you can ask me questions about any altcoin or any chart, stock, commodity, anything you want. We can have a look at those. Usually goes on for about 2 hours, so feel free to join the Patreon below. So CRO's had a little bit of a move today. Not particularly fussed about this move, and you know, in the last couple of months I actually became a CRO card holder. There we go. So I've got my CRO card now. That's right. Me and Matt Damon over there in the corner. You right, Matt? We are believers. He's converted me. He's been living in my garden in a tent for a while since buying the top, but since then, yeah, we've been having some good talks, and actually I've come round to his way of thinking. Not so much about buying the top, but the crypto.com card, I'm actually a convert. So, I mean, look at it like this. Before we go into the charts, anyway, you know, if you have the kind of money to put into that. So for me, I bought the jade green one. You have to put £3,000 worth into CRO and then stake it, and then you can apply for this card. But once you get the card, it's like 4% cashback in the form of CRO. You get Netflix and all this lot reimbursement in the form of CRO. So just remember this: it's not full. It's a reimbursement in the form of CRO, right? So you've got to look at it from an accumulation perspective. If you think that CRO is going to move up over the long term, which I do, then why the hell not accumulate it? You know, through just going to the supermarket or spending on Amazon or whatever. And if anyone remembers this channel from back in the olden days, one thing that I took advantage of for its utility from a retail perspective was StormX, right? I was a gold member of Storm, and it worked in a similar kind of way. You put a load of money into in the form of Storm to become like a certain tiered level, and then you buy things that you want to buy that are available on the Storm app, right? I remember once I bought NordVPN from Storm, and I got pretty much all my money back in the form of StormX tokens, right? Which was fine. If I were to sell them right there and then, it would have been a free purchase. I kept them, and then Storm went to the absolute bloody moon, and so I was paid like 5 times more. If you think about it like this, I was given 5 times more back than the original purchase, making it basically free for me to not just buy Nord, but actually I profited from that purchase. It's the only I suppose time I've actually used, you know, with crypto's benefits to benefit me, and I think that having this CRO card is a similar kind of vibe, right? And you've got to look at it for the long haul. I think the crypto.com they're separated from the rest of exchanges and stuff. I think they more or less have, but they're certainly going to, in my opinion, gonna take the place of Coinbase for the first point of contact for any new retailer that wants to join the market. It's not quite as user friendly as Coinbase, but it's close, and there are way more benefits to using crypto.com than Coinbase. But yeah, and obviously their marketing is absolutely aggressive. Even throughout this bear market, you know, you see them all over the place. You know, they're on the TV all the time. If you watch Bloomberg, for instance, they're attracting new customers, and so I don't see them first of all failing. I see them very much succeeding, to be honest with you, and buying and holding CRO or accumulating it, whether you're buying it or you're using one of these lovely metal cards, over the long haul is going to benefit you anyway. You know what I mean? Every time I go to the supermarket, I'm earning more CRO. And then when you reach 500, you can stake that, so it's like a snowballing effect. So yeah, I look at it in the same way that StormX ended up paying me to buy NordVPN and a handful of other things back in the olden days. But it's not going to work out immediately, because we are still very much in a downtrend. So let's look at the chart now. Now I've shilled that. By the way, you can set up a crypto.com account with a link in the description below. I think you get $25 if you didn't. Yes, not much, but and so do I. But yeah, if you want to set an account up, you can do it. But yeah, I'm sure you've already got one. Right, so let's focus on the chart. We had this sideways, a period of what I would consider to be an appropriate place to buy CRO, whether it's below 14 or as low as about 9. So we stayed within that range so far, and we're testing the top side of the range. Again, this is where I got the Crypto.com card, and now, I suppose the rest is history. Do I expect it to come down again? Well, in the context of a broader downtrend to which we are in, yeah, of course I do. And we're coming back down to that 9-cent zone, and maybe even breaking it. Yeah, why the hell not? But for the moment, it's had a bit of a pump, and I just, I've looked on the internet. I can't really understand exactly why it's pumping. I'm quite pleased with it because it means all my cashback's pumping too. There's no bearish divergence on this. There is only a little bit on the on the money flow index, which is fine. That's more of a consolidation, but the RSI showing momentum is still to the up, and so the daily actually looks quite good for what could be continuation of this current move, especially as we break out of this horizontal level of resistance, previously support, now resistance. Have a look over here on your 4 hourly fresh golden cross. This offers a realistic possibility of moving back down into it to retest its strength. But the 4 hourly looks relatively good as well. A little bit of bearish diversion taking place here, but again, we are looking for this to come down to test the 200 exponential anyway after a golden cross at some point, whether we go up a little bit further and then come down at a slightly later date, whether it's today, tomorrow, or a little bit later this week. But yeah, the momentum still seems relatively decent as far as price action is concerned, and a retest of that 200 exponential seems likely, and then we'll see where we go from there. It's actually pretty good. I'm surprised to see this because, like I say, I try not to look at it because it's not something I actively trade, although every day I do earn more of this stuff anyway, so it's nice to see it forming some kind of strength. Fresh cross on the MACD on the 4 hourly, although that's not amazing, it's still quite good. Let's go to the 12 hourly. Is there anything on this 12 hourly which is in any way, shape or form bullish? If we go over here, we can see that we did have a continuation of a trend signal formed from here, although I'm not particularly convinced because we had a negative cross followed by a positive cross. So even though that this is a continuation of a trend signal on the Ichimoku cloud, suggesting that this will keep moving until the Chiku span touches price action, which it narrowly avoided over here, but I would consider that to be okay still. This is a trend still in play. There's a few of these in crypto at the moment. So if that is the case, then we can allow this, or just watch and wait to see how far this goes until we get a negative cross or the Chiku span touching the price action. That's only on the 12 hourly, so can't expect it to be too powerful. And basically that is more or less the deal, really. It's looking quite good on your tether pair. Bitcoin pair looking a lot better, obviously, because Bitcoin down today, Crypto.com up, so we see a more aggressive move here. Daily, no buy signals or anything like that taking place on here. You're not really going to get that. Very bullish on your histogram over here. You can see that it's just mimicking the price action, really. Again, no bearish divergence to be concerned about on the daily. Let's move it down to the 12 hourly. What's going on over here? So quite extended, I would say, at this point now on the 12 hourly. RSI at 81 and money flow index at 90, almost 92. So this is pretty overheated territory for any money flow index. We've seen higher points than this in the past, but then we have also seen huge parabolic runs in the past. So yeah, I would be looking for this one to maybe fizzle out a little bit at this point now, calm down for a little bit. I'm not looking for huge continuation. The thing is, I'm trying to point out to everybody here is that, when it comes to hodling something, whether you're doing it through buying into loads of it or through fundamental value, you do have to think about where's it going to be in the future. I wouldn't say I'm married to the idea of Crypto.com being the best thing in the world. I'm not. It's not Binance, for instance. It's not something like that. Binance is king and probably will remain king as far as trading platforms are concerned. But for entry level, new retailers, coming into the market, I think they will flock to Crypto.com. And so over the long term, we're talking like over the next few years, through the rest of this bear market into the next bull market and see where we go from there. I'm pretty sure they're going to sweep up a hell of a lot of new retailers. And with that will come much more green candles and sustained price for CRO. So even though we've seen a little move on it today, that's fine, that's fair enough. But over the long term, just like almost all the exchange tokens, I strongly believe that they are the ones that are almost guaranteed to go up quite a substantial amount, because we think of the last bull run has been quite good, right? It was quite good. It was really good, let's face it. And when the retailers stepped in, we saw the nature of the move. In fact, look at this. This is a big move here, a big push for the Crypto.com and the card and things like that. And Matt Damon more or less mark at the top. But outside of all of that comes the fundamental reason that this is going to sustain higher prices over time, and that's because they're going to suck up the retailers probably way more aggressively than anyone else. Because Binance has to have some kind of technical ability. You couldn't really ask your grandparents to buy crypto on Binance. They'd get confused. Crypto.com a little easier. Coinbase very easy, but Crypto.com is still pretty easy. I'm like I say, I'm a firm believer that buying into the card and using the card down at these low levels over time will work out similar to, or maybe even better than, the situation that took place for StormX when I used to use that for its reward system. It's the future. It is the future. It's not going to make you a millionaire, but it's definitely the future. So, like I say, if we come back down to these lower zones, especially towards 9 cents, 10 to 9 cents, if you ever wanted to buy a Crypto.com account, get in on Crypto.com and have a card and make the most of just buying, if you're not getting any rewards or cash back from just spending on your debit card, have a serious think about doing this. Because it has worked out so far so good for me, and we're in a bear market, more or less sideways bear market. I don't see any negative anymore for using it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And I was at one point expecting everybody to marvel at the fact that I'm using this when I go to, I don't know, Sainsbury's or whatever. No one's ever noticed it, unfortunately. I always get it out, present it, and go, there you go. What do you think to that? And they just not bothered. The novelty is only for me. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there. But yeah, CRO's looking quite good in the short term. Over the rest of this year, as this bear market continues to unfold, expect lower prices. Don't be upset if you get them. In fact, take advantage of them and maybe even get a card, because I'm pretty sure in the long run this is going to work out pretty well. Right, thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.